Alright, you guys aren't going to get a normal episode of Swiss Chris today because I didn't do anything in time to get it filmed and edited for today. So instead we're going to have a one-on-one conversation. Alright, so last week you guys saw when I went to that failed ranch. And then today I went to the Reardon Mansion here in Flagstaff, Arizona, which you guys will see next week. And next week I'll go to the Grand Canyon. And you're going to see that the week after. And so I didn't have anything to film and produce for today. So instead I've got two stories to tell you guys. I couldn't really film them because they're just life events, things that just happened. But I can tell you about them and share them. So the first story is pretty embarrassing. The other day I was just walking along the class. On the side of the road I saw a cell phone. And at first I didn't think of anything of it. I was just like, yeah, it's a cell phone. And I realized, wait, it's a cell phone. So I stopped and I picked it up. And the screen was all cracked on it. And after using it for a while I found out that the vibrate feature on it was all kind of wonky. I guess the things that vibrate were off. Like it had fallen out of a car or somebody that was on a bike going by. So I pick it up and I'm like, well, I'll take it to the lost and found later. Then I come to find out that there is no central lost and found here. So I go through the messages and I found out that the last person she contacted was her best friend. And so I called her and said, hey, I found this phone. We should meet up and I can give it to you. And she agrees. We go and meet up. But it turns out she's a really, really cute chick. So I wanted to get her number. But I can't just be like, hey, yo, so I'm giving you this phone. What's your number? So I had to have a clever way to be like, hey, we should exchange numbers. And so what I tell her is I'm like, well, in case the phone's damaged or you need to contact me after this or anything, I should give you my number so that you can. And she agreed. And so I go to give her my number. I give her the first 3 digits. And my mind just goes blank. Oh, crap. I can't remember my number. So I actually pull out my phone and I'm like, oh, hold on. I can't remember my number. She was just so cute when I was talking to her. It's just like, oh man, my mind just drew a blank. So I pull out my phone, start going through the settings, try to find where it has your number listed, and I can't find it, and my heart's racing. I'm like, how the hell am I going to do this? And how did I forget my number? And I go through. She's like, maybe I should just give you mine. I'm like, no, I found it. I got mine. And then after that I realized I should have just gotten her number. I choked worse than Tony Romo. Was like, oh, my number is up. What is my number? But in the end, I did find my number and I gave it to her and everything worked out fine. Alright, our next story is actually pretty funny in a sick way. So last night at like 1 in the morning, I got really, really hungry. There's only one place on campus that's open that late at night. So I have to go down half a mile in 40-degree weather to the Gateway Center to get a sandwich. And then the line there is long because it's the only place open on campus. So there's this really long line stretching out of the building and out of the door. So we're waiting in this long line and eventually it passes by the ice cream case. And I see this triple caramel chunk from Ben & Jerry's, a pint of it just sitting right there. It was the only one left. And the guy in front of me opens the case and he's like, I should get some ice cream. And he grabs the last one left. And I was like, he just grabbed it. That's the one I wanted. So we're waiting in line. About 5 minutes later, we're almost to the register. Then he just hugs his friend. And I'm like, alright, I guess they're gay or something. He was just hugging onto his friend. And I see his friend has his phone there. And he's like, you gonna be alright, man? And his friend's just like, I could only see him from the back, and his friend just didn't look right, and I thought, oh, I felt horrible. I thought, oh, maybe he was holding his phone, maybe he just got a text that somebody died, a family member, or a pet, or somebody he was close to, and he was crying, and his friend was consoling him. Then just randomly out of nowhere, drops his phone to the ground, and I'm like, oh, that's not very good. And then the friend just passes out right there, and this guy's like 6-something, 250 pounds, right in front of me, and he's passing out. I'm like, hell no, and I back away. Because here at about 7,000 feet, alcohol takes effect faster. And you get people passing out like that all the time from overdosing on alcohol. So everybody else in the building is just like, yeah, guy on the ground passed out. That was normal. And nobody came over to help him. And his friend just starts slapping him in the face. He's like, you alright, buddy? You alright? You alright? And eventually his friend comes to and he's like, yeah, help me up. And so he helps him up. Then about 30 seconds later, he passes out again. And so his friend's like, hey, I gotta go take him outside. Do you mind putting this pint of ice cream back in the fridge for me? And I'm like, hell no, I don't. But it's not going into the fridge. And so in the end, I got my ice cream. And as for that drunk guy, well, I hope that he got the medical attention that he needed, and he's doing fine right now. Alright, well, that's going to do it for today's episode of SC. Let me know how you think about this style in the comments below. And I hope to see you back here next week when I show you my visit to the Reardon Mansion.